Welcome to Audiobook Zone. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage our own emotions while recognizing and empathizing with the emotions of others. Today, we'll dive into Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman, a book that has reshaped our understanding of success and fulfillment. Goleman reveals that our emotional skills often play a more significant role than IQ in achieving a meaningful, balanced life. By developing self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and strong relationships, we gain powerful tools for resilience, effective communication, and personal growth. Through this journey, the book equips us to navigate challenges, build enriching connections, and live with purpose. Before we start, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe to the channel and like the video to support our next video. Part 1. The Emotional Brain. Emotions have a biological foundation that can be traced back to our evolutionary history. The brain structure supports emotional responses that ensure survival. These responses are rapid and often bypass conscious thought to help us react swiftly to threats. However, the same automatic responses can lead to impulsive actions when not managed effectively. One key player in our emotional responses is the amygdala, a part of the brain responsible for processing intense feelings like fear and anger. In moments of heightened emotion, the amygdala can hijack our rational brain, the neocortex, causing us to act on impulse rather than reason. This emotional hijacking can explain situations where people react intensely, like shouting in anger or fleeing in fear, without conscious control. Understanding this process can help us recognize when our emotions take over and learn how to regain balance. A practical approach to managing these emotional hijackings is to pause and take a few deep breaths, allowing the rational mind a moment to catch up. Over time, practicing this response can strengthen our ability to act calmly in stressful situations. Another aspect covered in Part 1 is the function of emotions in social settings. Emotions are not just internal experiences, they play a vital role in communication and bonding with others. For instance, empathy allows us to connect deeply, understanding others' emotions and responding appropriately. Recognizing emotions in others helps in fostering cooperation, building relationships, and managing conflicts more effectively. Learning to read and respond to emotional cues can enhance our interpersonal skills, improving both personal and professional interactions. Furthermore, emotional intelligence is not fixed. Through practices like mindfulness and self-reflection, we can become more aware of our emotions, understand their triggers, and develop strategies to manage them. Emotional intelligence is essential in not only regulating our own emotions but also responding to others empathetically, fostering stronger relationships, and cultivating a more balanced, fulfilling life. Part 2. The Nature of Emotional Intelligence. Emotional intelligence shifts the focus from pure IQ, suggesting that managing emotions is crucial for real-world success. While IQ can measure analytical and logical thinking, it doesn't account for interpersonal skills, self-discipline, or resilience, qualities that often shape one's life outcomes more deeply. Emotional intelligence is essentially about understanding our feelings and using that awareness to navigate daily interactions, whether personal or professional. This means that someone with a high IQ but limited emotional intelligence might struggle in relationships or handle stress poorly, even though they're intellectually capable. A practical example might be a team leader who is brilliant in their field but struggles with anger. Without emotional control, they could intimidate team members or make impulsive decisions, affecting morale and productivity. Building emotional intelligence can prevent such issues by fostering self-awareness and control, allowing one to act constructively rather than impulsively. Self-awareness, knowing yourself. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. It's the ability to recognize your emotions, understand why you're feeling a certain way, and see how your feelings influence your behavior. By practicing self-awareness, you can catch yourself before you react impulsively. This can be achieved by taking a moment to pause and reflect on what you're feeling before responding. To develop self-awareness, try setting aside a few minutes daily for reflection or journaling. Write down any strong emotions you felt, what triggered them, and how you responded. For example, if you notice you frequently feel anxious during meetings, this might signal a deeper concern about performance or acceptance by peers. Understanding these emotional patterns can help you prepare better or seek reassurance, ultimately allowing you to manage your anxiety in similar situations. Self-management, controlling impulses and staying positive. Once you're aware of your emotions, the next step is to manage them effectively. Self-management is about maintaining control over impulsive reactions, especially in moments of stress or anger. One method for managing impulses is the pause and breathe technique. When you feel your emotions rising, take a few deep breaths and count to 5. This small action can interrupt the cycle of impulsive responses, giving your rational mind a chance to regain control. For example, in an argument, instead of immediately responding defensively, pausing can allow you to approach the conversation calmly and constructively. Practicing positive thinking is also a key component of self-management. Setting optimistic yet realistic goals, even small ones, can create a sense of achievement and build resilience, which is essential for bouncing back from setbacks. Self-motivation, turning goals into reality. Self-motivation within emotional intelligence involves setting meaningful goals and maintaining the determination to pursue them, even when challenges arise. Those with high emotional intelligence are often self-motivated, they find purpose in their actions, stay focused, and are driven by internal rewards rather than external validation. For example, if your goal is to advance in your career, you might break it down into smaller tasks, like developing specific skills or building relationships with mentors. This approach keeps you motivated and resilient when obstacles appear, as each small win reinforces your sense of accomplishment. Empathy, the key to understanding others. Empathy is central to emotional intelligence, allowing us to connect with others by understanding their emotions. By being empathetic, we can sense others' feelings and respond in ways that validate their experiences. This is essential for forming meaningful relationships, as it shows others that we genuinely care about their well-being. Empathy is not only about understanding but also about responding thoughtfully. For example, if a coworker seems upset, a simple, "Is there anything I can do to help?" can create an environment of support. Active listening is a practical way to practice empathy. It involves fully focusing on the speaker, withholding judgment, and responding thoughtfully. Avoid interrupting or rushing to provide advice, as this can make the other person feel dismissed. Instead, ask open-ended questions like, "How do you feel about that?" which encourage the speaker to share more deeply and feel heard. Social skills, mastering the art of interpersonal interaction. Social skills are essential for navigating relationships effectively, helping us communicate well, resolve conflicts, and build trust. These skills can be particularly useful in leadership roles or any situation that requires teamwork. Some core social skills include conflict resolution, persuasion, cooperation, and clear communication. For instance, in a tense situation, staying calm and discussing the issue openly rather than placing blame helps diffuse anger and encourages mutual understanding. If a conflict arises at work, consider using a win-win approach, where you seek solutions that benefit both sides. This might involve compromising or brainstorming options together, allowing both parties to feel respected and valued. Additionally, effective communication involves being clear, concise, and considerate in how you share information. If giving feedback, use "I" statements like "I feel that" or "I noticed that" instead of accusatory language. This approach avoids triggering defensiveness and encourages a more open dialogue. Using emotional intelligence in everyday life. Ultimately, emotional intelligence extends beyond the workplace or specific relationships. It's a life skill that enhances overall well-being. Studies have shown that individuals with high emotional intelligence are better at managing stress, have stronger immune responses, and even experience longer lifespans. By consistently practicing self-awareness, self-management, empathy, and social skills, we build a foundation for balanced decision-making and lasting, positive relationships. For example, in moments of stress, recognizing our feelings and using relaxation techniques like deep breathing or mindfulness can help mitigate stress's impact on our physical health. Practicing gratitude, setting achievable goals, and nurturing healthy relationships all contribute to a fulfilling life where emotional intelligence guides us toward resilience, inner peace, and empathy. Part 3. Emotional Intelligence Applied. In Part 3, we see how emotional intelligence applies across different areas of life, especially in relationships, workplaces, and health. Emotional intelligence in relationships. Emotional intelligence has a significant impact on relationships. Our ability to manage emotions directly affects how we communicate, resolve conflicts, and support each other in challenging times. For instance, during a disagreement, someone with high emotional intelligence can navigate emotions without letting anger or frustration take control. This approach helps avoid escalation and fosters understanding, as each person feels respected and heard. Practical strategies for using emotional intelligence in relationships include active listening and empathy-building exercises. Active listening involves giving full attention to the speaker, avoiding interruptions, and responding thoughtfully. Another approach is validating others' feelings, which involves acknowledging their emotions without immediately trying to fix or critique their perspective. Simply saying, "I can see why you feel that way," can diffuse tension and build trust. Such practices strengthen the emotional bond and encourage open, honest communication. Workplace success and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is increasingly valued in professional settings, where technical skills alone may not suffice. Strong emotional intelligence allows for better teamwork, effective leadership, and resilience under pressure. Leaders with high emotional intelligence inspire their teams by understanding their needs, managing their own stress, and maintaining an optimistic outlook. Such leaders create a positive work environment that motivates employees and encourages collaboration. For anyone looking to develop emotional intelligence in the workplace, practical methods include practicing empathy, setting achievable goals, and building resilience in the face of setbacks. When empathy is prioritized, employees feel seen and supported, leading to stronger teamwork. Setting realistic goals helps maintain focus and prevent burnout, while viewing setbacks as learning opportunities strengthens resilience. Handling feedback constructively is another essential skill. Instead of feeling attacked, employees with high emotional intelligence understand that feedback can lead to improvement and growth. The health benefits of managing toxic emotions. Research shows that prolonged stress and unmanaged negative emotions can lead to serious health problems, such as high blood pressure and weakened immunity. Emotional intelligence contributes to physical health by helping us recognize stress triggers and respond with healthier coping mechanisms. When we use emotional intelligence to manage stress, we protect not only our mental well-being but also our physical health. Practical techniques for managing toxic emotions include mindfulness practices and stress-relieving activities. Mindfulness allows individuals to observe their emotions without reacting impulsively, which helps maintain control over responses. Simple stress-relieving techniques, such as deep breathing, short breaks, or physical exercise, can also ease tension and promote relaxation. Regular practice of these techniques strengthens resilience and helps prevent emotional buildup that can impact health. Emotional intelligence and adaptability. Another valuable insight in this part of the book is the concept of adaptability. While genetics influence our basic temperament, emotional intelligence skills can be developed over time. Our emotional responses are flexible, and with consistent effort, we can reshape them to become more resilient, adaptable, and emotionally intelligent. A practical way to build adaptability is through self-reflection exercises. For instance, journaling about emotions, identifying specific triggers, and setting goals for managing responses differently in the future are powerful ways to increase emotional flexibility. Over time, these practices create new habits, making it easier to navigate challenging emotions with calmness and clarity. Emotional intelligence as a life skill. Ultimately, emotional intelligence isn't limited to specific settings, it's a universal skill that enhances all areas of life. When we apply emotional intelligence principles, we can reduce stress, build meaningful connections, make wise decisions, and create a fulfilling life. By practicing self-awareness, empathy, self-management, and adaptability, we cultivate a balanced approach to life that fosters well-being, productivity, and harmonious relationships. Part 4. Windows of Opportunity. The focus of this part is on how emotional intelligence develops over a person's lifetime and the powerful influence of early experiences. Emotional intelligence skills, including self-awareness, emotional management, empathy, and relationship skills, don't emerge randomly. They are shaped by the environments we grow up in and the emotional habits we adopt, especially during childhood and adolescence. Emotional learning in childhood, the foundation of emotional intelligence. Childhood is a critical period for emotional learning. From a young age, children observe and imitate the emotional responses of their caregivers. Parents who handle stress calmly or show empathy teach their children these behaviors, providing them with strong models for managing emotions and connecting with others. Emotional lessons learned in the early years create pathways in the brain that influence how children respond to stress, disappointment, and conflict later in life. Parents can nurture their child's emotional growth by encouraging open discussions about feelings and demonstrating positive responses to emotions. For instance, rather than dismissing a child's anger or sadness, parents can help them name the emotion and discuss what caused it. This not only helps the child understand their feelings but also teaches them how to process emotions healthily. Schools and caregivers also play a role in teaching skills like empathy, self-control, and conflict resolution, which lay a foundation for balanced emotional intelligence. Adolescence, a time for emotional relearning. Adolescence brings its own challenges, as teens experience heightened emotions and face complex social situations. This period offers a second window of opportunity to strengthen emotional intelligence skills. Teens begin to form a stronger sense of identity, and how they manage emotions like frustration, embarrassment, or jealousy during this time can set patterns for adult relationships. Strategies that help teens during this period include open conversations about emotional challenges and modeling positive coping strategies. For example, if a teenager is facing peer pressure, discussing ways to handle it calmly and confidently can help them develop resilience and self-assurance. Practicing mindfulness and self-reflection can also help teens process emotions constructively rather than react impulsively. Emotional trauma and its impact on emotional intelligence. Experiences of trauma or intense stress, especially in childhood, can disrupt emotional development and make it difficult for individuals to manage emotions later in life. Trauma can leave emotional scars, making it harder for individuals to trust, manage anger, or respond calmly to stress. However, recovery and growth are possible, as the brain remains adaptable. Therapeutic approaches, such as cognitive behavioral therapy or emotional relearning techniques, can help individuals reshape their responses to trauma. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for instance, works by identifying negative thought patterns and replacing them with positive, constructive ones. Through such therapeutic practices, individuals can gradually rebuild emotional resilience and relearn healthier ways of processing feelings. Temperament versus emotional flexibility, nurturing potential. While some emotional tendencies are genetic, the concept of temperament is not destiny is central to understanding emotional growth. Although we may be predisposed to certain emotional reactions, the brain's plasticity allows us to modify these responses over time. With consistent practice, people can develop greater emotional control, empathy, and resilience. Practical ways to cultivate emotional flexibility include setting small emotional goals and practicing self-compassion. For instance, if someone tends to react defensively, setting a goal to pause and reflect before responding can gradually reshape their response patterns. Journaling can also help, as it allows individuals to review emotional experiences, understand triggers, and strategize for future interactions. Part 5. Emotional Literacy. The book explores the risks and challenges that come with a lack of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is crucial for maintaining mental health, building resilience, and creating fulfilling relationships. Without these skills, individuals may face emotional and social issues that impact their overall well-being and success in life. Emotional intelligence and mental health. Emotional intelligence acts as a protective factor against a range of mental health challenges. People with low emotional intelligence may struggle with managing emotions like anger, anxiety, and sadness, making them more vulnerable to conditions such as depression and chronic stress. For example, someone who lacks skills in emotional regulation might experience overwhelming feelings of frustration or hopelessness, which can escalate into long-term mental health issues if not addressed. Building emotional intelligence helps in recognizing early signs of emotional distress, understanding personal triggers, and developing coping strategies. Practices like mindfulness, journaling, or talking openly with trusted individuals are effective ways to stay emotionally aware and reduce the risk of emotional issues turning into deeper mental health concerns. The social costs of low emotional intelligence. Low emotional intelligence affects social relationships significantly. It can make people come across as insensitive, impulsive, or uncooperative, leading to isolation and difficulties in both personal and professional relationships. For instance, a person with low empathy may struggle to understand others' feelings, resulting in misunderstandings and conflicts. To build stronger social skills, people can practice empathy exercises, observing and reflecting on others' perspectives before responding. Simple actions like listening attentively, validating others' emotions, and responding with understanding can enhance social interactions. This approach fosters meaningful relationships and strengthens connections, creating a positive social environment that reduces loneliness and builds trust. Behavioral risks, violence, addiction, and impulse control. A lack of emotional intelligence can also lead to risky behaviors like violence, substance abuse, and impulsive decision-making. Impulse control is a critical aspect of emotional intelligence. Without it, individuals may react in harmful ways, such as lashing out during conflicts or turning to addictive behaviors for comfort. These actions often stem from an inability to process emotions effectively and find healthy outlets for frustration, anger, or sadness. To strengthen impulse control, people can engage in self-regulation practices, such as taking deep breaths, pausing before reacting, or considering the potential consequences of their actions. Additionally, setting personal goals for calm and controlled responses helps create healthier behavioral patterns that reduce the likelihood of risky behaviors. Educational approaches, teaching emotional skills early. Recognizing the importance of emotional intelligence, some schools and educational programs have introduced social and emotional learning initiatives to teach children skills like empathy, self-control, and emotional awareness from a young age. These programs aim to provide students with tools to handle stress, communicate effectively, and develop resilience. Studies show that children who participate in social and emotional learning programs experience better academic performance, improved social skills, and fewer behavioral issues. Parents can reinforce these skills at home by encouraging open conversations about emotions, modeling positive responses to stress, and teaching problem-solving techniques. For example, if a child is upset about a disagreement with a friend, a parent can guide them through the steps of understanding their emotions, considering the other person's perspective, and discussing possible solutions. This approach builds emotional intelligence, setting a foundation for healthier, more fulfilling lives. Conclusion. In conclusion, emotional intelligence explores the significant impact of understanding and managing our emotions on all aspects of life. Unlike traditional IQ, which measures cognitive abilities, emotional intelligence reflects our capacity to recognize emotions in ourselves and others, control impulses, and build meaningful relationships. The book emphasizes that emotional intelligence is not fixed but can be cultivated over time, allowing us to improve personal resilience, professional success, and mental health. Learning these skills benefits not only individuals but also society as a whole. With greater self-awareness, empathy, and emotional control, we can create communities that prioritize compassion, understanding, and emotional well-being. This knowledge is especially crucial in today's world, where emotional intelligence helps navigate complex social environments and contributes to healthier, happier lives. Thank you for listening to this summary of emotional intelligence by Daniel Goleman. I hope it inspires you to incorporate emotional intelligence practices in your daily life for a more balanced, fulfilling journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights like this. Until next time, take care and keep growing.